Have you ever wondered if you could literally rewrite the biological software of your own brain? Well, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're turning this into a hands-on, step-by-step workshop designed to help you break those stubborn bad habits, radically reduce your stress, and actively shape your future. If you've ever felt, stuck in a rut, or like your body and mind are just constantly working against you, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to dive into the literal biological mechanics of how to rewrite your internal software and, honestly, become supernatural. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's jump right in. Okay, so here's our syllabus for this workshop. We're going to move from diagnosing those subconscious traps all the way to the actual physical techniques you need to break free. So we'll hit the autopilot trap, escaping survival mode, entering the quantum, mapping out your energy centers, the breathing technique, and finally, heart coherence. All right, let's do this. Starting off with Module 1, the autopilot trap. So before we can even think about changing our reality, we really have to understand what's keeping us anchored to the past. Just imagine having a single angry thought, right? Something like, man, my boss is so unfair. That one thought instantly triggers biochemicals that make your body physically feel anger. And the moment you feel angry, your body signals your brain to think even more angry thoughts. It's exactly like a needle stuck in the groove of a scratched record. You get caught in this continuous, endless loop, and eventually, your body literally becomes the mind of that emotion. And here's the crazy part. Because of that repetitive loop, 95% of who we are by the time we reach adulthood is basically just a subconscious body-mind program. Think of it like those automatic software macros just running silently in the background of your computer. So only about 5% of who you are right now is your conscious thinking mind. The rest? It's just a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, and habits. Your body has literally been programmed to live in the past, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's wild, right? Which brings us to Module 2, escaping survival mode. To break that repetitive cycle, we really need to look at how long-term stress essentially locks us into survival mode. I want you to think of your autonomic nervous system as a car. The sympathetic system, that's your accelerator. When you perceive a threat, a tight deadline, a terrible traffic jam, a heated argument, you slam on the gas. Your body starts pumping out stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, gearing up for fight or flight. And that's great for short-term survival. But your parasympathetic system, that acts as the brakes. It's meant to conserve energy, relax the body, and kickstart healing. The problem is, when we're stuck in that stress loop we just talked about, we have our foot pinned to the accelerator all day long, and that completely drains the energy we actually need to create anything new. Moving into Module 3, entering the quantum. Okay, so when we're constantly hitting that accelerator, our brainwaves get locked in this rapid, highly stressful state. It keeps us hyper-focused on our 3D physical reality, our problems, our physical bodies, our lack of time. Think of it like a really narrow, harsh flashlight beam piercing the dark. But through meditation, we can actually widen that beam into a soft, glowing floodlight. We shift our focus to the quantum field. It's this broad, open awareness where you let go of your identity and literally become pure consciousness. You transition from focusing on solid matter to focusing on pure energy. And guys, this is where true healing actually begins.
All right, Module 4, your energy centers.
So to actually make this quantum shift and pull our minds out of the past, we have to map out exactly where our past stress gets physically stuck in our biology. You have these distinct energy centers starting all the way from the base of your spine, going up to a space just above your head. Think of them almost like individual mini-brains or biological software hubs. Each one is tied to a specific gland and specific emotional states, regulating different parts of who you are. Now, there is a massive division between the lower and upper centers. The first 3 centers, the ones governing reproduction, digestion, and the adrenals, they're all about our basic survival instincts. They're fundamentally selfish, right? They're meant to keep the physical body alive and in control. But centers 4 through 7, up higher in the body, those are about selfless traits. Things like love, having compassion in the heart, speaking your truth, and actually connecting to higher frequencies. When we live in chronic stress, all our energy just pools in those first 3 survival centers. It's literally like a kink in a garden hose. The energy gets trapped at the bottom, completely blocked from flowing up the spine into the heart and the brain, which is where true creation happens. Now for Module 5, the breathing technique. Okay, here's the actual physical technique to unkink that hose. You're really going to want to practice these exact steps. By squeezing the muscles of your pelvic floor, then locking down your lower and then your upper abdomen, all while taking a slow, steady breath in through your nose and pulling it all the way up to your head, you're essentially acting like a physical pump. Imagine squeezing a tube of toothpaste from the very bottom all the way up to the top. You are physically pushing that stuck survival energy up your spinal cord and shooting it right into your brain, restoring your body's electromagnetic field.
And finally, Module 6, Heart Coherence and Intention.
With all that trapped energy finally flowing freely into the brain again, we can now use the heart center to broadcast a brand new reality. And fun fact, the heart actually has more nerve connections going to the brain than any other system. So to create what we call heart coherence, you've got to combine a clear intention, which is a thought, with an elevated emotion, which is a feeling. Let's say your clear intention is to work from anywhere in the world and be your own boss. Well, you can't just think the thought. You have to pair it directly with the feeling of freedom, of deep gratitude, of feeling empowered. Think of your intention as a radio signal and your elevated emotion as the power that amplifies that signal. Once you actually find that powerful feeling in your chest, you project that energy out beyond your physical body. By resting your attention right there in your heart center and broadcasting this specific combination, a clear thought married to an elevated emotion, for just 10 minutes a day, you are emitting a totally new, coherent electromagnetic signature. You essentially become a magnet out there in the quantum field, actively drawing your new reality right toward you.
So by practicing this workshop daily, by pulling your mind out of the past, unsticking your energy through that breath work, and creating true heart coherence, you successfully rewrite your subconscious software. You actually begin to physically embody powerful truths, like my body is healing every day. The mechanics are literally in your hands now. So the only question left to ask yourself is, what kind of supernatural reality are you going to choose to broadcast today?